It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft, joined as always by Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, glad to be back with you on the air. A few days away where you've been running solo. Glad to be back as the team.
Absolutely, Tyler. We got a lot to talk about. Held it down in the studio myself, but it's time to do this as a team, man. Happy to be back with you, man.
Yeah, glad to be back together, get the band back together, and there's a lot of stories to go through across our local community. One of our top stories here in the local area in the past several weeks, a big change on its way in West Bloomfield Township. It will officially be switching waste and recycling haulers beginning on July 1st. Green for Life Environmental, or GFL, those services will now be provided by priority waste haulers instead. And last night at the West Bloomfield Township Board meeting, that agreement was made official. Priority Waste Chief Operating Officer Vincent Hoyumpa, who also serves as their attorney, explained the deal between GFL and Priority, clarifying what exactly they purchased in this agreement.
To put this all in perspective, we're not buying GFL itself. We're buying just certain trucks as well as the contracts associated with those trucks and their residential business here in the Detroit market. They will continue to own the Arbor Hills landfill as well as provide commercial services, that's roll-off and FEL. But as it relates to residential services, I have a signed purchase agreement, which I'm planning on closing this Friday with GFL to acquire, at this point, 600 and some odd trucks and the contracts for 74 communities. That would encompass all of GFL's residential business in Oakland, Wayne, Macomb, Genesee, and Livingston and Washtenaw counties.
Of course, GFL is a large carrier in our local area, large waste hauler across Metro Detroit, serving a number of communities, including a large and quite demanding community to cover in West Bloomfield Township and others throughout the greater West Bloomfield area, which led to some questioning about if scope may be an issue in their replacement by Priority Waste. That was also addressed at last night's meeting.
How big is Priority Waste as compared to GFL? And how are you guys prepared and equipped to handle this large purchase, all these trucks and everything else that goes along with it? Number of employees that you're going to need?
Certainly. So currently we service 44 communities in the Detroit, Flint, Saginaw, as well as Indianapolis markets. We are a integrated business in the fact that we handle roll-off, front load, residential, we haul scrap, we own transfer stations, all right? The only thing that we don't have at this point is a landfill, and we choose not to be in the landfill business because there's plentiful landfills in the Michigan market.
That addressing the scope and clearing any confusion or any apprehension that may have been had by the board or certain board members about whether or not Priority Waste would be able to take over the sheer volume and necessity of the contract that GFL has had with West Bloomfield in the past several years. Now, over the past several weeks, since the GFL change was announced, many residents have had complaints about the service from Green for Life Environmental as opposed to what it had been before that change was announced, including a township board member who asked Mr. Hoyumpa at last night's meeting about how issues with trucks dropping garbage and leaving communities essentially polluted on their streets over the past few weeks may be addressed as Priority Waste now takes over the contract. Here's what he had to say.
We had purchased 100 new trucks. So those trucks those were all prior GFL communities. So those communities, they no longer have those trucks. So we're going to be repurposing the best trucks across the board and taking out of service the trucks that need the most repairs, if you will. So I have, as part of this acquisition, acquired 200 extra trucks that we're going to have. Now, it's not necessarily going to happen in day one, okay? But I would expect over the next 90 days to be able to go through all the trucks in all the communities and reallocate the resources so that we're minimizing any environmental impact in any community, including your own.
One of the many hallmarks of the contract with GFL Environmental over the past several years is that if residents had issues and they came to the township about those issues, that the supervisor's office, the clerk's office, anybody answering the general phone number at town hall could call a representative from GFL Environmental, a liaison, so to speak, who would be able to quickly start addressing those issues or even resolve them in a swift manner. That was addressed last night by Supervisor Steve Kaplan, asking Priority Waste COO and attorney Vincent Hoyumpa about whether or not that could continue. And Hoyumpa emphasized not only will that continue, it will utilize both human and technological power to make it happen.
Part of our success and part of the reason why communities are so happy with our service is the fact that we've pioneered what we call the PIT. That's Priority Integrated Technologies, where we use technology to see at all times where our drivers are, what our guys are doing, all right? As their co-pilot, all right, we have what we call our LDCs, our Logistic Driver Coordinators. These are individuals whose job is, and as members of your team have seen, their job is to help those drivers and deal with problems as they come up, all right? We have people that can diagnose mechanical problems virtually so that when there is that breakdown, we can send a service truck with the correct parts, all right, with the correct personnel to mitigate that issue, not 6 hours, not 12 hours after the fact, but within an hour, all right? We have a very extensive system where our call times, where people are used to getting a machine and says dial 1 for this, press 2 for this, all right? You go talk to a live person and you are immediately connected to an individual who has the ability and the knowledge to resolve the problem. So our hold times are less than 15 seconds, all right? Our resolution times are under 2 minutes. We like to be 1950s in the front where you have that personal interaction, 2050 on the back, because we use technology as the backbone for providing the services that every resident is entitled to.
More information on the change from GFL Environmental to Priority Waste, which was officially approved by the township, that will officially be taking place on July 1st. More information on that can be found on wbtownship.org. You can also get in contact with Priority Waste and find more of their information. Their website, prioritywaste.com, and Facebook at Priority Waste as well. Of course, you can find all of our municipal meetings available on demand and replaying all throughout the week. That township board meeting from last night will, of course, replay 1 p.m. on this Tuesday, but will also be on demand if you're watching later on or you don't have time to tune in for that immediate replay. CivicCenterTV.com. You'll also get plenty more information, updates, and all of our videos across our social media. Scan that QR code on your screen right there, right now, CivicCenterTV.com, and you'll find all of that on demand as well. Kevin, the Detroit sky last night was lit up with the annual Ford fireworks in Hart Plaza. Attendees from all across the local area and within the city of Detroit attending for those fireworks. They happened after dark, still quite late, 10 o'clock p.m. It was broadcast on Channel 4 in the local area as well. And that brings up one of the hallmarks of this time of the year, fireworks across our community as we celebrate the 4th of July holiday and people enjoy the middle of their summer.
It's a staple in the community, fireworks around the time of Independence Day. You get your family together, you get some barbecue, friends, and you have a little bit of fun. So it's a tradition. I'm glad to see that it's still going on after years of turbulence and different things. So I'm glad it's still going on, and we'll be celebrating in our local community soon also.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. A tradition in Detroit last night with the Ford fireworks. You're seeing, we'll put some of those images on your screen for you so you can see a few of those from our friends at the Detroit Free Press who were able to capture some of those images last night. Calvin, if we can put that on in program. These from Kimberly P. Mitchell from the Detroit Free Press scene happened over the Detroit sky. And in the next couple of weeks, so next week actually, we'll see a couple of those fireworks shows that have become traditions close to home in Keego Harbor and in the lakes area. The Cass Lake fireworks, July 5th, will be on Cass Lake, of course, facebook.com/Cass Lake Fireworks to learn more information. Kevin, this is a really cool story. This is a grassroots organization that came together years ago to organize a fireworks show on Cass Lake every single year. And this has continued with donations from the community year in and year out to fund these. So it is for the community, funded by the community, and open to the public. That is a cool show.
I think that's what makes it more valuable, if you ask me. Everyone plays a role, so everyone feels like they're a part of it. Everyone feels like it's more than just the show. They help set up, they help contribute, they help donate. And like you said, it was community driven. It's for the community. And once again, happy to see that it's continuously going for another year.
Again, that's Cass Lake Fireworks on Facebook to learn more information. These shows are expensive. They take a lot of planning and logistics, so donations are also accepted. You can provide those donations via PayPal, which is linked on their Facebook page. You can also find more information on how you can get involved in these efforts this year and next and beyond. Cass Lake Fireworks, INC@gmail.com. Kevin, right next door in Sylvan Lake, a classic fireworks show from a classic organization. Oakland County Boat Club on July 3rd at 9 p.m. will be having their annual fireworks show. No parking along the streets. Limited parking is available both at the Sylvan Lake Community Center and at Ferndale Park, but this is open to the public. While it's a private boat club, these fireworks are for the entire public. They're viewed from throughout the prettiest little city in Michigan and across our local area. You can learn more information about this fireworks show and get all the details you need, and hey, find some cool historical pictures of the Oakland County Boat Club as well. Facebook.com/Oakland County Boat Club. Again, those fireworks shows happening July 3rd in Sylvan Lake at the Oakland County Boat Club and in surrounding areas. You can view that and get more information. And then the Cass Lake fireworks are the day after the 4th of July holiday, July 5th. So celebrate July 3rd with some preemptive fireworks. Celebrate the day of our independence on July 4th and then in Keego Harbor. Celebrate again the next day with even more fireworks on your long 4th of July weekend here in the greater West Bloomfield area. But Kevin, not only will people be celebrating at these big shows that are heavily organized and have a lot of people involved to make them happen both in an entertaining and a safe manner, we all celebrate in our own ways with our friends, with our families, get our own fireworks, but that requires some safety precautions as well. Joining us on the Splash Live to talk about what you can do to make your 4th of July celebration safe for the entire family is Byron Turnquist, our fire marshal in West Bloomfield and in the Tri-Cities. Byron, thank you for being with us. And as we get started on this conversation, as people are getting ready for their fireworks shows, what are some of the basics that people should know when it comes to fireworks safety?
They can be really dangerous. They can be very enjoyable when they're used properly, but we hope that everybody has a safe summer, safe holiday season using fireworks, along with being respectful for their neighbors. So one of the first things I'd like to touch on is this year, per township ordinance, which is the same in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake, fireworks can be used June 29th through July 5th. 11 a.m. in the morning to 11:45 p.m. in the evening. That's an effort to try to be respectful to your neighbors. But the most important thing is, while you're using fireworks, is to have a clear, open area where you can safely light that firework and enjoy it without being too close to combustibles.
And that plays a big factor also into these bigger fireworks shows that we see, whether it's out on Cass Lake or on Pine Lake or Orchard Lake or anywhere throughout our community that these private and public shows are happening. They're often, well, in all cases, they are consulting with our local fire department for safety reasons. What sort of discussions do go into some of these larger shows that we see also?
The pyrotechnicians submit a plan with the type of devices that they're going to be using on the displays. That plan will include a site plan that shows that we have the proper safety radius determined by the size of the shells that they are planning on using. Some of the smaller lakes and smaller shows that obviously forces the pyrotechnicians to use a smaller sized firework. But we look at all of those. We're taking account to make sure that what they charge the Lake Owners Association or the country club is what they deliver for the show. And then we're on site at the show to make sure that that safety radius is met and maintained, and that they're igniting the fireworks safely and trying to just ensure a good evening for everyone involved.
And for individuals or for individual families that may be lighting fireworks just as a group during some of these occasions during that period of time, June 29th through July 5th, what is a safe distance in those cases?
Again, it depends on the size of the firework. Typically, what you're going to buy, and use are fountains or bottle rockets. You want to be in an open space. And the tricky thing with the ordinance and with the state law is that you have to use the fireworks on your property. That means you can't use the roadway. That means you can't go to the school and use their big open fields. You have to use your yard. The fireworks have to stay in your yard. And you want to keep them away from vehicles. You want to make sure that they're not on your deck. They want to be on a hard, flat surface, like a driveway or a patio. Again, not a deck, definitely not a composite deck. But you want to be safe away from the anything combustible, and you want to keep all the spectators clear of it too.
And it's also a matter of safety after you use the firework. Also, we've talked in the past about some things that residents can do after the firework has been done, or if maybe you get a dud in the group. What are some of those steps that people can take after they use a firework, or if one just doesn't work, doesn't go off?
Yeah, if you light a firework and it doesn't work, leave it alone. Just let it sit there. Don't go up and look over it. Don't try to reignite it. Stay away from it. Try to go to a different area if you're going to continue to use fireworks. And then after it's been, sitting there for an extended period of time, and then even your fireworks that you use, we recommend that you put them in a pail of water, let them soak overnight before you put them in the trash. All too often we see homeowners clean up after a fireworks evening or a 4th of July celebration, take all the fireworks, scoop them up, throw them in the garbage. And there could still be some smoldering embers in there, which could lead to a fire later in the evening. And we like to be invited to parties. We just want to be there for the party, not after the party.
More information can be found on WB Fire Department on Facebook. You can get all the information that you need to know and some helpful tips all throughout the year on fire safety. Joining us today is the West Bloomfield Fire Marshal, Byron Turnquist, as we talk about fireworks safety in particular. And earlier on, I had mentioned as we started our conversation today that, of course, fireworks come in all different shapes and different sizes, whether it's those larger fireworks that we see in some of the big shows or sparklers that we often see handled by our children. And that, of course, brings up the necessity for education for our kids of all different ages as they're using fireworks. What should parents be taking into effect at this time as we get ready for that period of June 29th through July 5th?
Fireworks should really just be, reserved for the adults. Let the adults operate them. I know people love to light sparklers and let kids run around the yard. There's a burn injury hazard with sparklers. There's eye injuries if they trip and fall and can get poked in the face with a sparkler. And then one of the things I always hate to see is when kids throw the sparklers. They can be startled by the sparks and they'll toss it into the air, and then it's hard to find that at night in the lawn, and you'd hate for somebody to be walking through the yard in their bare feet and find that sparkler. So really all fireworks should just be used by anybody that's over 18. And I know around the 4th of July celebrations, alcohol is usually present, and anybody using fireworks, lighting them should be sober and not drinking.
And we know that accidents can happen. Somebody, like you said, throws a sparkler and it gets lost in the lawn. It doesn't cause a fire, but someone's walking around and they can step on that and get burned. Or there's a number of different incidents that can happen. When those do happen, what are the most important steps that people should take if there is a firework malfunction or some sort of an injury as a result of firework use?
Yeah, it's always a good idea to have a fire extinguisher readily accessible and available. If you don't have a fire extinguisher handy, make sure that you have a hose that's turned on and ready to be used in the event if something goes wrong. Main thing is have a safe distance. Don't try to reignite anything that didn't fire properly, and soak the fireworks before you put them in the garbage.
Byron, we know people want to capture the moments. Often when fireworks are coming into play in the summer, it's for a special occasion like the 4th of July. And so they bring out video cameras or even drones in many cases to capture these occasions. But when we combine the safety concerns of fireworks and then drones, what should be considered or what should be kept in mind by residents that may be trying to utilize technology during these sorts of displays?
Again, try to do it. Make sure you're doing it from a safe distance. With the drones, if you want to risk your drone and put it up in the air, a firework or may hit it. It's hard to say what direction it's going to go, and when you're flying around a drone up in the sky, the distances can be hard to judge. So yeah, you can get some cool footage. Technology is amazing with what you can capture today. And just again, can't emphasize enough, distance is your friend. You want to make sure you're a safe distance away from anything that's going to explode.
Helpful fire safety tips are available all throughout the year on Facebook at WB Fire Department. You can also find more information and contact the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, which also serves our Tri-Cities in Greater West Bloomfield, by visiting wbtownship.org. We're joined right now by their Fire Marshal, Byron Turnquist, on today's edition of the Splash Live. Byron, before we let you go, we know that there's a number of different misconceptions that people may have about fireworks safety or about some of the dangers. What are some of the more common misconceptions that we do here this time of the year that the fire department in particular really wants to dispel as we get ready for fireworks season?
Again, a firework is essentially they try to control an explosion. So you need to understand what's happening with the fireworks and be prepared for the surprise. If something goes wrong, if a firework isn't built right, it's designed to shoot straight up, it could tip over at the last second and shoot sideways. Just can't emphasize enough being safe, keeping a safe distance away from the firework, just in case something goes wrong. Having a pail of water when people think that they're out and they've been sitting on the patio for an hour or so, still soak those fireworks in water. Don't put them in the garbage can and wheel that garbage can right into the garage. Every 4th of July, we end up with a garbage can fire or a garage fire, basically just for improper disposal of the fireworks.
Any questions you may have, you can contact the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, 248-409-1505, 248-409-1505. Byron, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Always glad to talk with our West Bloomfield Fire Department about safety precautions we can take all throughout the year, whether it's general summer safety or fireworks safety around the 4th of July, and an important resource you can also get in contact with, facebook.com at WB Fire Department, or you can call them with questions as well. If you have questions about your fireworks plans for the 4th of July weekend, their non-emergency number, 248-409-1505. 248-409-1505. Get the questions you need answered before you go forward with those fireworks shows. Orchard Lake Police Department wants you to be in the know on the road as you're going throughout the community over the next couple of weeks. We are expecting a road closure coming up beginning July 8th. That's a Monday through that Monday after July 15th. Commerce Road will be completely shut down in that local area as the Oakland County Water Resources Commissioner's Office repairs sewers and manhole covers with necessary repairs throughout that stretch of our local area. Now, it's closed to through traffic. Those that are living in neighborhoods or in other locations on that stretch will be able, in some bits and pieces, to access that road, Kevin. Orchard Place residents will only be able to access their subdivision from its east entrance. Dow Ridge and Three Lakes will have access from the east. Bayshore and Commerce addresses west of the closure will only have access from the west. Orchard Lake PD also providing some suggested detours, saying drivers should use Hiller Road, take that to Cooley Lake, then to Cass Elizabeth, then back to Cass Lake Road and Orchard Lake Road as an alternative route instead of using Commerce Road. Case in point here, Kevin, if people are planning on using Commerce Road during the stretch of Monday, July 8th through Monday, July 15th, now is the time for them to start thinking about alternative routes.
Right. And you know what, Tyler, as someone who commutes very, very often to and from work for a distance too, I do not like construction and road work. It's such an inconvenience, but it's even more of an inconvenience when you don't know about it at all and you find out about it when you're driving. So it's good that you get the heads up right now, right here on the Splash Live, to find out about Commerce, where it's only going to be for a week also. So just find out alternative routes and then make your plans accordingly.
Write them down on the sticky note, put it on the horn on your car, so when you get in during that stretch of time, you're going to see that immediately, be like, hey, remember, you got to take this detour. I made that mistake recently over the weekend. There was, nearby where I live, there was a little festival going on. I drove through an area where a couple lanes of the road were blocked off and there was a bit of a backup. I remembered it and I'm like, I got to commit this to memory for on my way back home. I didn't do it, got stuck in it again. So there's the lesson right here. If that's happening, that could happen to me over the weekend within a stretch of a few hours. It can happen to you knowing about this now and then trying to plan for July 8th through July 15th. In the meantime, get updates on this traffic update from the Orchard Lake Police Department and any other updates from throughout the city of Orchard Lake Village and their emergency services. Facebook.com/Orchard Lake Police for all that you need to know on this subject. Congratulations and a farewell is in order for a longtime public servant. Sergeant Art Smith officially retired late last week after, get this, Kevin, 29 years serving in the West Bloomfield Township Police Department. He started as a cadet with West Bloomfield and then way back in 2014 was promoted to his current position of sergeant, where he has been for the last 10 years before now officially retiring. Over his time with the police department, Sergeant Smith was involved with the IT department within the police, was a certified driving instructor trained by the Michigan State Police, and trained numerous new officers as an FTO as well. The police department writing in their Facebook statement with posts of pictures from his celebratory event as well, saying they thank him for his decades of leadership and service, and that you can see more pictures on of the retirement event on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD. Again, 29 years. Give him your congratulations on that post as well, Kevin. That is an illustrious career for anybody in any industry to be in the same place for 29 years.
29 years, Tyler. He literally worked a lifetime. He worked more than a lifetime for some people that could be here. So 29 years giving your life to the community. Literally, we got to honor and respect that. So congratulations again, Sergeant Art Smith on the retirement.
Yeah, a great career and huge congratulations to him, and big shoes to fill too. Someone that's there and that committed to our community for that long. It's going to be tough to replace going forward, and even tougher to emulate for others coming up in the police department. Right next door to the police is the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. But Kevin, people may not know there are two locations across our community, not only the main library branch at our town hall complex, but the West Acres branch over on Pontiac Trail as well. And for those that want to get a little bit crafty and enjoy their art, you can bring your own projects and hang out with other crafty people on the fourth Wednesday of every month. That includes this Wednesday, 7:00 p.m. Share your tips of the trade, some knowledge, make some new friends, maybe work on some projects together or come up with creative, crafty ideas. All skill levels and abilities are welcome too, Kevin. So it's an opportunity for artists who are experienced and want to get to know some other local artists to do so, and for those that are just interested in getting into art to also dip their toe in the water and learn from some friendly people.
Essentially, what they just created is a safe space for creators, creatives, and artists alike. The energy is different when you have to create as opposed to when you are studying, reading, or doing anything else. So I completely advocate for something like this coming together at the West Acres branch, West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Great effort on their part.
West Bloom LIB on Facebook to learn more information and to sign up for their events and learn more and see their calendar at WBLIB.com. Civic.org is the place to go. Plenty more going on across our community. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. After this break, the frustration of trying to be a new homeowner in our community in this current market, and a way for you to relax that stress away with some local yoga as well. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe alongside Kevin McIntosh. We thank you for joining us and for sticking with us across all of our social media as well. Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, YouTube and Instagram as well at Civic Center TV, and you can always find us on demand on CivicCenterTV.com as we learn about what's going on across our community. And Kevin, people love to live in Greater West Bloomfield. They want to live in Greater West Bloomfield, but this housing market sometimes making that process of getting here a little bit frustrating.
You pretty much said it, Tyler. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, specifically in the West Bloomfield area, there is some information that you should know. And we'll talk about it as we are being joined live on the Splash by an active real estate agent right here in the West Bloomfield community, Kristen Peoples. Thank you so much for joining us, first and foremost.
Thank you for having me.
Kristen, I want to get straight into this article we saw on yahoo.com that says home ownership costs has jumped 26%. I think about $18,000 more since the pandemic. With your expertise in the West Bloomfield area, what have you seen in the change in price and demand in the West Bloomfield housing?
Well, I can tell you right now, obviously in the West Bloomfield market, it is still a seller's market. It is still very hot in terms of sellers getting either asking or above. You're still seeing multiple offers. So we're still seeing that scenario going on. Definitely. You just want to make sure that the buyers are prepared, make sure that they're pre-approved, and make sure that they're ready to go. And obviously, if you're buying in the West Bloomfield area, you have to be ready to make a decision like right away if you see a home that you like. But yes, 26% increase, and medium houses, the prices are about $410,000. So and obviously, the more bedrooms, the more you're going to see more of an increase. So you're seeing up to 50% of an increase, like up to 5 bedrooms.
Okay, so now we get into the big crunch of the information and what's going on. $410,000. We said medium home prices right here in our community, and which means it has risen since the pandemic. Yes. So that also goes to talk about what we're talking about with this article. What are the most common concerns with some of your clients regarding the rising cost of home ownership?
So a lot of them they're waiting for prices to come down on the buy side. So I'm 50-50 buyer
Yeah.
seller. And on the buy side, for whatever reason, you have some buyers thinking that prices are going to, come down. But then you have some buyers that are realistic and knowing that this, with our school systems, with everything that we have to offer in West Bloomfield, they're willing to go ahead, and the buyers that are really serious, they're making sure that they're prepared to put that offer in, and making sure that they're competitive with their offers.
Trust me, as someone who was literally actively searching for a home to buy, as the spring started to open, I saw the market open up. I saw more buyers come out to play and put more negotiations on the table too. So as the weather starts to get better, people travel, people also want to search for those homes. So this is a very high in demand season also, just to put that into perspective. But joining us again right here on The Splash, real estate agent in the greater West Bloomfield area, Kristen Peoples, talking about the rise in home ownership, more than 26% since the pandemic, and how it's affecting the West Bloomfield area. What strategies are you recommending for some of these newer home owners, especially first-time home owners, to try to budget for these unexpected home costs?
So my suggestion, obviously, there is the NAR settlement that's going on right now, where and that entails buyers having to pay the buyer's agent. So my suggestion,
Right.
if you want to buy into the West Bloomfield area and you don't want to have to deal with, paying commission for that agent, you may want to get out there now before mid-July-ish, when this is supposed to go down. Also, again,
Right.
it's so important, if you're a serious buyer, make sure that you're pre-approved. Usually agents, we refer our clients to reputable mortgage loan officers. You want to also make sure that you have your savings together. You want to make sure that, and you're prepared that, you may have to put a little bit more down right now because the market is so hot.
Yeah.
But remember, you are investing not only in purchasing in West Bloomfield, but this is an investment for a lifetime. And so I love living in West Bloomfield. I'm
sure.
a West Bloomfield, not only an agent, but I'm a resident here, long time, almost 20 years. Raised my children through the school system. It's an excellent community to grow up in.
There you go.
And just to live, so it's an investment. So make sure that you're giving it your all. If you have an agent that you're working with, make sure that you're listening to their expertise. If they're saying, hey, you may want to, be more competitive in your down payment, the earnest money deposit that you put up, that also shows good faith and that you are really serious about buying. So it's all about being prepared and being ready to compete.
Correct. You're saying it, you're hitting the nails on the head, and I'm glad you're saying it as the professional right here on the Splash Live, because if I say it, they're not going to listen to me, Kristen. Okay, so there's another part of these home payments, home ownership, the mortgage altogether, that kind of affects the payment and the cost, right? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? And we're not even talking about cable, internet, all the other stuff, landscaping. How have you seen the change in property taxes and home insurance premium, premium insurance change in West Bloomfield, and how that has affected the real estate market also?
So I'll tell you, again, West Bloomfield is hot, so people are willing to pay the premium. But I also sit on the tax board here in West Bloomfield as well. And what I always tell my clients, because I don't want them to be surprised, and this is going to be a nugget of wisdom, so hopefully your listeners are taking notes of this, that the taxes depend on how long the previous owner has lived in that house. So say, for instance, if someone has lived in that house for 30 years, each house is going to be different, but they were capped at that 30 years in terms of the taxes that they're going to pay. And so it breaks my heart when I see people, when agents don't share that information with their clients, and they come in and they're trying to figure out why their taxes went up so high. It's because that previous owner lived there so long that they were capped 30, 20 years ago, And so I always tell people, we look at the seller's disclosures, not only just to see any defects with the home, but also understand, okay, how long has this person lived here? How long have they owned this home? Because that is going to dictate what your taxes are going to be. So again, if someone's been living in a house for 2-3 years, maybe even under 10 years, your taxes are going to go up because, by the rate of inflation. But at the same time, if someone's lived there for a long time, then be prepared for maybe even triple increase in the taxes.
Ooh,
And I have seen that,
ooh,
and it's
Kristen,
very, very
triple.
sad. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. That you might have hurt some hearts right there. Joining us right here on the Splash, Kristen Peoples, active real estate agent and successful real estate agent and West Bloomfield resident right here in the greater West Bloomfield area, talking about the rise in home ownership costs since the pandemic, specifically right here in our area. I know we got to kind of wrap up, and I can pick your brain about a lot more. Any other key information that you want to give out to buyers potentially looking to come to West Bloomfield or sellers looking to leave West Bloomfield with the housing market here?
So for the sellers, obviously, it's a win-win for you because you can get a premium for your home right now. And for the buyers, there are some first-time home buyer programs that are out there, depending on the lender
Right.
that you work with. So don't be afraid to go after the home of your dreams. And again, with the interest rates, I always tell my clients this: marry the home, date the rate. You can always refinance.
Date the rate.
So do not be afraid to buy your home right now because of interest rates. Interest rates they won't probably go down as low as they were before during the pandemic, but they are lowering. So keep your eye on the rate. Buy that house now. You may have to pay a higher mortgage now, but at least you're in the home of your dreams, and you can always refinance.
Hey, Kristen, once again, like I said, if I would have said it, I know this information, but if I would have said it, it would have just rolled right off the shoulder. But because it's coming from a professional, a successful real estate agent, and a resident of West Bloomfield, it means so much. Again, thank you again for joining us. Kristen Peoples, real estate agent in West Bloomfield, talking about the rise in home ownership costs since the pandemic. We appreciate your time and information.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yes, Tyler. See, that's the great information right there, because we know there's a lot of aspiring homeowners out there in the field looking for homes. I see it on social media. I see it when I'm talking to agents. So that's great information to know going forward. Even if you own a home now, it's just things that you should know to kind of prepare you for all those unexpected costs, essentially.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be looking for a home, especially in a community where people are competing to get into these homes as well. Great advice from Kristen. We had some great advice recently at the Greater West Bloomfield Health Fair on CivicCenterTV.com from another local real estate agent, Alan Mindell, how to navigate housing today, how to prepare for that also. So check that out as well on CivicCenterTV.com and on our on-demand page. And hopefully it's not going to stress you out too much, Kevin, but if it does stress the good people of Greater West Bloomfield out, they have some fun coming up that could also maybe help relieve a little bit of that.
I see what you did, Tyler, the Segway King. Yes, we are relieving stress with Yoga at the Gardens, an event that's coming to West Bloomfield. Join us here on The Splash to talk more about that. We have the event coordinator for English Gardens of West Bloomfield, Phoebe Holmes, joining us. Thank you for being here, Phoebe.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so Yoga at the Gardens, July 20th, English Gardens, West Bloomfield. What inspired this event series?
Well, I don't know if you've ever been to our greenhouses, but it is just so serene in there. You're surrounded by plants, you can hear the birds chirping. It is just the most peaceful place ever. And so last year we had the idea of what if we made it even more peaceful, and we brought in a yoga instructor, and we held this class in the morning before the store opened. So it's, it is so peaceful in there. And we do an hour-long yoga class, and it is very serene. There's nothing like it.
Ooh, it sounds so exciting. I haven't actively done, I've done guided yoga like through YouTube, but I haven't been in the atmosphere with the instructors and other people physically to kind of experience yoga. So I imagine it would be a great event. Have you gotten any feedback from the community in regards to this event?
Yeah, we did a trial with it last year with just a handful of classes, around Metro Detroit at our different stores. And people were so excited about it. They were like, bring it back, and we want more classes. So we've expanded the program to 8 full classes this year. And it's a traveling series. So it'll be at all 4 of our larger store locations. So we have at West Bloomfield, we have a couple dates. So that's going to be our July 20th and our August 24th. But then there's also going to be 2 dates in Royal Oak store and 2 dates at our Clinton store, as well as our Plymouth store.
Nice, nice. Okay, so I want to ask about that in just a second. But what I really want to have you talk about is the connection between yoga and the atmosphere of English Gardens. Can you talk about why do you feel like there's a correlation or connection between doing something like yoga and doing it in the atmosphere of English Gardens?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yoga, there's so many health benefits as well as so do plants have, health benefits and things like that. So I think there's just something
Right.
about being surrounded by things that are good for your body while doing something that's good for your body. It's just, I don't know, it feels healing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would see, and that's what I was getting to too, because plants give us our oxygen. They give us, they clean the air, they filter the air and things of that nature. So when you are doing something that like yoga, which requires a lot of breathing, you're taking in the same air that the plants are giving off, the same filtered air and things of that nature. So I would imagine that's going to be such a great thing. Join us right here on the Splash Live. Event coordinator for English Gardens West Bloomfield, we have Phoebe Holmes talking about their upcoming event, Yoga at the Gardens, July 20th at English Gardens of West Bloomfield. You also are partnering with Evolve Yoga. Can you just talk about that collaboration, how it came about?
Yeah, well, we thought, what better way than to partner with a local yoga studio. So we're partnering with different yoga studios for each location. West Bloomfield, we're partnering with Evolve, like you said, and they've just been great partners. They're going to come in store and do a remote class for us. So we're really excited to partner with them for the first time.
Nice. Any specific logistics or anything that goes into kind of coordinated something like this? Or you know what, how about this, Phoebe? I just thought about this. I want to get back to the different locations. What's going to make the event at different locations different? Are you going to differentiate them? And what's going to be the difference with the West Bloomfield location?
It's going to be the same, still an hour-long yoga session. Really, the only difference is going to be the different teacher. Some people have, preferences to specific yoga studios. So if you see your favorite yoga studio on there, you'll know where to find them. But at each of the locations, it's going to be $5. You need to pre-registration in advance. But along with that ticket, you're going to get a free 2-inch plant, as well as a special coupon that you can use in stores at English Gardens that day.
Oh, okay. Now that sounds nice. You get to leave with a plant also while you're feeling well, doing well, and get to meet people in the community. All right, last thing, for different levels, do you have to be a beginner? Is this beginner type? Is this advanced? Who should be, thinking about coming here as far as their level of yoga?
Yeah, this is going to be a beginner-friendly class, so all ages, everyone is welcome.
Nice.
And it should be a great time.
Nice. Appreciate you again. Thank you so much again for joining us. Event coordinator for English Gardens in West Bloomfield, Phoebe Holmes, talking about the Yoga at the Gardens event, July 20th at the English Gardens of West Bloomfield. That will be between 8 and 9 a.m., by the way. Thank you again for joining us, Phoebe. We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, Tyler, see, this is what we like to talk about, kind of getting out, stretching our body, since all we do is sit at our desks or sit at homes for the most part, and also meeting new people who have similar interests, and in a very great environment too, by the way, Tyler.
Yeah, it sounds like a really fun event and a great opportunity to meet some new people in the community, relax a little bit, get a good stretch, and have a good time as well. Always happy to share what's going on in that regard across our 4 communities. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll take a quick break on the other side. Some more information you'll want to know about things coming up across Greater West Bloomfield. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft, alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, safety is always on our mind. Earlier on in the program, we, of course, mentioned fireworks safety as we get ready for that season to begin throughout next week as we head straight into the 4th of July, but also safety that can affect us all throughout our communities, all throughout the year. Under Michigan's new safe storage law, it is your responsibility as a firearm owner to safely store your weapon when it is not being legally used out and about across our community. And that begins at home with many different mechanisms, including gun locks. And many of our local police departments are providing those for free, including the Orchard Lake Police Department. The City of Orchard Lake Village gun locks are available for free while supplies last Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. for pickup at their main office on Orchard Lake Road, just at the corner of Orchard Lake and Long Lake in our community. You don't have to be a resident of Orchard Lake to pick one of these up either. It's part of partnerships throughout our local area to increase gun safety and gun ownership responsibility. So, if you're driving through the Orchard Lake area and you have an ability to take a pit stop real quick and pick one of these up, you know you need them, that's a great place to start. And Kevin, not only is it the Orchard Lake Police Department, but many of our other local departments, including West Bloomfield, participating in this, providing free gun locks to residents and to non-residents.
Tyler, that's a topic that we couldn't be any more serious about. We like you said, we're all about safety. We want to talk to our community, not about the things that happen in our community, the wrong things, I should say. So please be proactive, preemptive. Go get you a gun lock. They are absolutely free. City of Orchard Lake Village, they have them. Like we said, weekdays, 8 a.m., 4 p.m. Please go up there and get them. If you don't have them, or if you know someone who has a firearm and they don't have one, get it for them, please. Please and thank you.
Yeah, a lot of these that are provided for free are those cable locks, as you're seeing on your screen right now on civiccentertv.com, this infographic from the state of Michigan about their safe storage law. Typically 4 different kinds of ways that you can easily secure your weapons. A cable lock, a trigger lock, a lock box, or of course putting your weapon away in a safe where you and only those that are responsible owners of that weapon will have access to it. This prevents those tragedies that can happen from someone getting a hold of your firearm and either using it themselves or playing with it. This happens with kids too, where they see them in the movies, they're playing around with it and they don't understand, and tragedies can happen. So safety goes way beyond just inside your home and outside your home when it comes to these great resource in our community. Another excellent resource in our community, Kevin, which focuses on our parents and our kids, particularly those kids over the summer. They get out of school, and sometimes when they're not in school, those lunches and those breakfasts are not going to always be there throughout the summer. But the West Bloomfield School District and many others in our local area participating in Meetup and Eat Up this summer to provide children age 18 and under with delicious and nutritious meals while they are out of school. The great thing about this, Kevin, is whether you're in the West Bloomfield School District or another school district, no matter where you're at, if you're in a participating district, no application or registration is needed, no proof of residency is needed to participate in our West Bloomfield schools and their locations. You just show up and your kids can enjoy these meals for free throughout the summer. Now, here's how you find out when and where these meals are going to be available. You either text food or comida to 304-304 to get more information. There's also more of that available through links on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield School District at West Bloomfield Schools. And once again, these meals are free. They're provided for kids up to 18 years old. regardless of which community that they are in, and all throughout the summer, Kevin. Although meals are intended to be consumed at these particular sites, they are not for pickup and takeaway.
And more importantly, Tyler, I do want to make this point also. As a community, I think it's important that we do not associate any negative stigmas with anyone who are participating in this type of event. As someone who took advantage of programs like this before in grade school, I know how important it is for people who are going there because they are in need. So yes, go there if you are in need. With no shame, let's go out there and support and make sure we advocate for resources like this that are available for people in our community.
Yeah, another great resource too, again, food or comida can be texted to 304-304. Another great resource you can go to if the texting may be of difficulty for you. If you are on a payment plan that charges you for text message and data rates, call 211. The United Way for Southeastern Michigan also has information on Meetup and Eatup as it serves throughout our communities. Simply dial 211 for those resources and so many others across our local area. Kevin, a really fun event coming up for people that are book lovers in our community. They've maybe gone through their reading list. Maybe they've completed their 2024 reading list at the halfway point, and now they're looking for some new recommendations, but they don't know where to start. Why not go on a date with a new book at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library? They'll be doing a speed dating with books introduced by their librarians Thursday this week at the West Bloomfield Parks Connect Senior Center. Each librarian will take a turn sitting at your table and will introduce you to not one, not two, but 5 of their favorite books that they've enjoyed recently. A quick synopsis of each of those reads before the timer rings, signaling to librarians to switch tables. So maybe bring a pen and paper or open up your notes app on your phone and write those down. Registration, however, is required to attend this free event at Connect Senior Center. Learn more information about this speed dating event with your books on West Bloomfield Library's Facebook page at West Bloom LIB. And of course, find out more about all the library's events on WBLIB.org. Kevin, a really creative way for book lovers to get introduced to maybe some new genres, some new authors, and some good reads for the rest of the summer.
Calling it speed dating is definitely gonna get your attention first and foremost. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole new twist on it, right? Introducing to new books. I'm a type of person that likes to hear or likes to get suggestions for new books. And I know many other people do too. So you get to actually sit with someone who read books thoroughly and can give you a great breakdown of it. And you can kind of line up and see if it's a great book for you also. Love this event from West Bloomfield Township Public Library.
Yeah, it's a great event. Hey, look, if I weren't right smack in the middle of Grant Hill's autobiography Game, I would be going to this and trying my best to figure out my next great read. But that's a good one coming up. Kevin, golf lovers also have an opportunity to see a legend, perhaps in the making, from a previous legend. Charlie Woods, the son of Tiger Woods, earned his first USGA championship on Wednesday when the 15-year-old son of Tiger Woods, last week Wednesday, qualified for the U.S. Junior Amateur event next month at Oakland Hills Country Club in Bloomfield Township, which means particularly, perhaps, a star could be coming to our community, a future star in Charlie Woods. Maybe even we'll see Tiger Woods out there. And if he's playing on Sunday, I'd be interested to see if he's going to be wearing his Sunday Reds to watch Charlie play on the links. But Kevin, if kids in our area want to get outside for some fun, maybe engage in a little bit of golf themselves, they can do that right in the heart of the lakes with their discs at the Keego Harbor Disc Golf Course as well. Mark your calendars, July 14th, as part of Keego Connect at 11 a.m. Kids from throughout Keego Harbor and around the local area will be joined in Baxter Morgan Park for a youth golf disc golf clinic with Driftwood Creek Disc Golf, who hope to build that course in Baxter Morgan Park. You can find more information on that on Facebook at KH Parks. And Kevin, maybe one of them is going to become the next Tiger Woods of disc golf in Keego Harbor.
I know. Wouldn't that be kind of sweet? We right here in our area, the greater West Bloomfield area, the Tiger Woods of disc golf. Now that's something to brag about.
Very much so. KH Parks is the place to go for more information on all of their Kigo Connect events. A lot of fun all throughout the summer to engage the people and engage them in our parks as well. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. There's the music. We're out of time. Plenty more coming up throughout the week. Keep up to date with us on our social media. Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, YouTube and Instagram at Civic Center TV, and on CivicCenterTV.com. For our entire team, Peyton Skyver and Calvin Brown at Master Control, I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. Thanks for tuning in.